We have our best offer yet on poodlecfb.com right now until the launch of CFB 26. If you use code LAUNCH with a capital L, you will get $50 off the annual plan. And if you're into the monthly plan, if you use code LAUNCH 2025 capital L, you will get $5 off the monthly plan. Guys, these discounts are recurring, so the beauty of this is if you lock yourself in now, you'll have it for the remainder of CFB 25 and CFB 26 and beyond that, so make sure to sign up right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 25 video, and today's video I'm going to be going over all the new features that will completely change the way you play in CFB 26. Before we get into the video, guys, as you do know, we are running our best special of the year over on poodlecfb.com. We're having dozens of members signing up this week. Everyone is prepping for CFB 26. Make sure to come on in, come join hundreds of members, grandfather yourself in. This is a recurring discount, so if you lock yourself in now, not only do you have a few weeks now until CFB 26 to acclimate yourself with the spreadsheets, the formulas, the Excel, and everything else that comes with it, the calculators, but more importantly, you lock yourself into this discount, so once we get into CFP 26, you do keep this as recurring for the lifetime of your membership. So make sure to check it out. Come join the fastest growing CFB community and be ready to dominate your Dynasty week 1. Remember, it's code LAUNCH with the capital L for $50 off the annual plan, and code LAUNCH 2025 capital L for $5 off the monthly plan. Whichever you choose, don't miss out on the biggest deal of the year. It will be gone once we get into CFP 26, so come join and let's get into it. So this is kind of a two-part video, so I'm going to go over how this impacts the mode itself and kind of what you do and how you go about doing it. Then I'm going to make another video going over how a lot of these new features actually impact the way you recruit, because they're two different things. Let's start with the first one, which is going to be more archetypes, and more importantly, unique archetypes that match players on game day. And it's something that I've always wanted across any game, whether it was NCAA or it was Madden, and that is unique archetypes. You see this in 2K, you see this in every game you play. It's like, okay, so Michael Jordan could be a defender and a shooter, and this player like Jalen Milroe could be a super fast runner with a great throwing stats in this game. But then when you actually go and play these games, you can only do one thing. You can only shoot, or you can only pass, or you can only run. And you see that with the quarterback position currently. As it stands right now, when playing this game, you have a quarterback as a field general. They can pass, but they really can't run. When you're playing as a scrambler, they can run really well usually, but they can't pass. But then you play against Alabama and they have Jalen Milroe, who's like the best passer in the game and is Michael Vick with his legs. And it's like, why can't we find those players? Now, I don't want to see them every cycle. I don't want to see 5 of them, but I would love to see like #1 ranked recruit, or like some hidden 300 level recruit that has like legs and an arm. And the skill point allocation be a little different in the sense that they don't wait to upgrade their accuracy to the end. So they did say archetypes will be more unique, so you may see the Travis Hunter types, and that's going to change a lot of things. Like when you're going into like your board and you're looking, you're going to see a guy who may have a unique archetype. Like let's say there was man-to-man zone slot, and then there's like a 4th archetype, or if it's within an archetype but you just end up being able to get players that like they're man-to-man, but you'll notice they can also run routes, and you'll see it like on the screen right here where you see their stats. You'll see like route running on there too, and now you know it's like a Travis Hunter type build. Either way, we needed that, because honestly, after the first 4 seasons, when you kind of graduate out all the current day players, you end up in that cycle of the same style build of players, depending on which archetype you choose. And because of what we do over on poodlecfb.com and a lot of our videos, you guys know the best archetypes to pick, so I feel like a lot of people have kind of just skewed towards one thing the whole year. The next one's going to be visit proximity. Now, from a non-recruiting side of this, visit proximity is going to be a new feature where right now, if you want to do a visit, it's 40 hours, right? You have to go on there, you go into recruiting, you pay your 40 hours, you schedule a visit, right? Or you don't. But either way, visits are an important part of the game. So in this new game that they're putting out, right, CFB 26, your visits are going to matter based on your location and less about how much money or how many hours you have to spend. So it always kind of bothered me this year. It was kind of the fact that like once you got your coach built up all the way, pipelines didn't really matter as much. And what I always said by pipelines didn't matter is if you have a 5-star pipeline or your hometown, those players are always top on your board. And in theory, even a smaller school should have a good shot at securing someone right in their backyard. But a team like Bama or other team with a maxed out coach can just come in and take that player because they have more hours than you and better packages than you. Now, it's going to change the game a bit where Bama may have to allocate 40 hours for a visit, but because the player's in your backyard, like you're up in Syracuse, the players in upstate New York recruit, Syracuse can do it for like 5 to maybe 0 hours. And that allows them to place a visit on all their backyard recruits for basically free, while a team like Bama would have to come in and put a full 40, maybe a full 50. And that actually does add to it and adds to the strategy of things. But where it matters from the point of the game here, and from like the Dynasty standpoint, is when picking your team. Picking your team is going to be a little different now, because in the past, when you pick your team, we all knew you get the best coach, you build up the ideal coach build, and you figure out program builder with your pipelines, and you could basically go in and get any recruit you wanted. This changes when picking your team, because let's say you pick a team in like the northwest, like by the Oregon area, Oregon per se, you're not going to be able to fight for any of those southern players when it comes to visits the same way. So this is going to change when picking your team. It matters a little bit more now, the proximity. Certain historical pipeline type areas may matter a lot more, and picking a bad team in one of those pipeline areas could actually be much better, because once you have the good coach, you also have the players in your backyard, but keep in mind other teams around you do too. And vice versa. If you want to go like Ohio State or Notre Dame and you're in that area up there where you can just get those guys, maybe you want to go to a place that doesn't have a lot of teams fighting for that pipeline, like a Pennsylvania or South Carolina type area, versus like going to the Georgia, LSU type area where you're going to be fighting with all those elite SEC teams. So keep that in mind. That's going to change the way you choose teams. The next one's going to be formation subs. Now, I know people are commenting you can do this in the play screen. It's not the same. Formation subs basically allows you to go, there'll be like an option right here called formation subs. You'll basically be able to go in and go through your whole playbook per formation and set up the way you like your lineup for each formation. People were saying you can do this in the play screen. I don't think people understand just how much this changes things, especially in a game like college football. I'm going to give you a few examples right now. Let's say you run 2 formations, gun trips and a single back formation. Out of gun trips, you always pass the ball. Out of single back, you always run halfback, dive, or stretch. Keep that in mind. So if you're running guns, trips, you're always passing the ball. You could go in formation subs, and in college football, you have a lot of good linemen, right? You're bringing in all this depth. You have a bunch of options. You never know who to start. You could put in all 5, in this formation only, all 5 of your best pass blocking, quick drop tackles and guards and centers, right? You could put in your receiving halfback. You could put in your fastest wide receivers or your physical guys. Then you can go right to the single back formation and formation subs and put in all your run maulers. All your guys who can't pass block to save their lives, but they're run maulers. Put in your power back, put in your elusive back, put in your blocking wide receivers, your physical ones, put tight ends at wide receiver. And now, like you guys say you can do that from the play screen, you can't. You cannot make all those changes in time without calling timeouts and having to refix it every time. It's really annoying. This allows you to do, first and foremost, that, which is super advantageous because a lot of people won't go that far. And you're going to be killing people on run plays because now you have your best allotment of players. And from the wear and tear perspective, keep in mind, that does mean you're going to have much fresher players at each formation versus always having players beat up by the second half. Furthermore, in a game like CFB, let's say you find a scrambling quarterback, 95 speed, but he can't throw. You don't want him at quarterback all game. You can go through your formations like your Wildcat or your gun flex where you had the quarterback run the power, or any of your option or pitch plays on any of those formations. As long as you use them just for quarterback running, you can go ahead and put that guy in as your quarterback just for those plays and make sure, and your quarterback comes in for everything else. And this alleviates the thinking process, and you can just call plays and know they're in. You can make it so your fast wide receivers always on the outside for all formations, except for that one single back jet sweep play you run, and make sure he's on the inside. Because then you put him on the inside, but you don't have him on the outside the whole game. There's so many things you could do here, putting in your power back just for power type plays or just for like I form. So many cool things can be done with formation subs. It gets rid of a lot of the thinking here and makes it just so much easier to, and in a game like college football where it's so situational, you see college football, you see the running guy come in on goal line at quarterback, you see the special gadget type players that only do certain things, you see the formation shifts. It is so big, and this also, again, in my recruiting video, I'll go over it more, but it changes the way you recruit. It allows you to take things like right now, for instance, we bring in a lot of field general and improviser quarterbacks as they grow quicker, and we don't care for scramblers, but now there may be a reason to kind of go in certain directions with certain players or bringing in a few extra wide receivers. Again, I'll go over this in my recruiting version of this video. Let's move on to the next one. This one is something that was on our wish list. As you guys see behind my face cam, you know it's there. I don't have to get rid of it, but there's a deal breaker spot. So this guy's deal breaker is pro potential. They've added dynamic deal breakers. So I think we can all agree the transfer portal was lackluster this year. Deal breakers were a bit overstated. For the most part, once you had your coach set up and you were kind of a solid to above average program, deal breakers weren't a big deal. As long as you didn't like go on vacation and miss a whole season or sim a whole season and lose so many games, you really weren't losing players at a high clip, especially if you're a good player. I want to see like a 5-star quarterback just take off on you out of nowhere. And obviously giving you a warning, but like you out of nowhere, like dynamic. Whether that means dynamic deal breakers are ahead of time, like when you're bringing in 5-star recruits, or maybe it's only 5 stars who get it, but while you're bringing them in, it's like they're a dynamic deal breaker guy, which means maybe it's pro potential right now, but then it could be playing time. Or maybe it's playing time, but then they get really good in high overall, and then it's pro potential. Now they want to go in the first round, and you got to be able to get them there. Like let's say you're Marshall, and you bring in a guy who just wants playing time, or who cares about hometown, right? Just being local, proximity to home. So you bring this guy in, and he ends up progressing really well. He becomes an 88 overall. Then dynamically he changes to now his pro potential, because now he wants to go to the draft. He can feel it, but he doesn't think that your school like Marshall, who has bad pro potential, can get him there. Now in his senior year, he wants to transfer to a SEC team like Bama or LSU, where he can showcase himself on the national level and get himself pro. And this could be just very interesting and more realistic, because that is how real life is. You get these guys who end up performing at lower schools. Some are loyal, but others are like, okay, now I got to get to the big schools now that I've proved myself. Dynamic deal breakers could be a game-changing thing, and also because of that, as they said, it makes the transfer portal be absolutely just a lot more fun and more unique each and every time. Not so consistently the same thing, not so bland. And I think this will make it also better from a game managing. Again, this video is about like outside of the recruiting cycle, from a game managing perspective, where you have to actually look at your roster. We all thought we'd have to look at our roster this year and kind of like be like, okay, every single season, who's leaving, who's not, and you honestly don't have to manage it that well. Just win some games, perform pretty well, follow a few things. You're not going to lose too many guys. But now it might be a situation where you could see a guy suddenly shifting to like playing time, and now you got to get him in the game, and hopefully they do fix that. Or maybe you got to go cut a running back because one of your top other guys is now a playing time issue, and he doesn't like that there's so many on the roster. And there's just so many different things that can make you have to actually manage week in and week out, because outside of recruiting, you don't have to manage too much week in and week out once you kind of get through your early initial recruiting cycle. So hopefully this does play a big role, but I think it really will change how the game is played. And to top it off, guys, the transfer portal. When you guys play Madden, you know that the offseason, like the Super Bowl ends, and that's one of the most exciting periods. You have free agency, you have the draft, you come in all excited. In CFB, most of your recruiting, or all of it, is done in the first few weeks. So after week like 5, 6, 7, you stop caring about recruiting, and then when you lose in the playoffs, college football playoffs, you're kind of like, okay, well, the transfer portal sucks. There's nothing really here to look forward to. And then you're back into new season and just hoping those recruits get a big boost. This adds excitement to the offseason. Now you're going to be waiting for those dynamic deal breakers to hit. We're waiting for those guys to randomly ask out, seeing how that all impacts it. The transfer portal should have, they said tons of players. So the transfer portal might finally be like more of a free agency vibe, where you're like, oh my God, like Jalen Milroe type guys or Nico type guys or other guys like hit the portal more consistently based on certain things, or elite guys who got built up at a smaller school want to go to a big school, and make it just more fun and a little bit more unique each time for every single team. And that should go a long way in actually changing the way we feel about the offseason. And I feel like that's kind of what CFB was missing. I love the first 6, 7, 8 weeks of a season. And then if you're making the playoffs, that's obviously fun. But if you're not, if you're a team that's not doing well, you're trying to rebuild, the 7-7 can feel like the second half of the season, the last 7 games or so, can kind of feel like a drag while you wait to get to the offseason and flip the training results and then start again and do it all over again. I feel like it was missing that offseason excitement, and I feel like the transfer portal will go a long way with dynamic deal breakers to changing that. But guys, that's basically all the features that I think will absolutely change the game. Archetypes going to be a huge thing, change the way we do a lot of things, change the way we choose things. Visit proximity is going to be an absolute huge thing for choosing your team and going about that going forward and trying to like really strategize that. Formation subs will change the way you play the game, change the way you win the games, change the way you actually call plays, which is going to be really interesting. There was a lot of plays I left on the table this year because I was like, yeah, I love that play, but I need a certain guy in that one spot. I don't feel like changing every single game. I'm just not going to call it. Dynamic deal breakers going to be huge if implemented correctly. Transfer portal, and of course, last but not least, honorable mention, the trophy room. It won't change your dynasty, but it will be a lot more fun for online leagues and even offline players, because sometimes you get to the end of a dynasty and someone's like, oh, I won 3 rings, or I won 2 trophies. Oh, I had a lot of Heismans. But like, you just talking, it would be cool to be able to just like open someone's trophy room and filter by like the dynasty you're in and be like, whoa, and like you just see all the trophies, the quarterback awards, the Heisman awards. And also for your solo leagues, when you run those 20-30 year dynasties, like what did you accomplish at a school like Marshall? I think that's really cool, and a lot of people will appreciate that. Won't change your dynasty, but it will definitely be cool. And again, guys, stay tuned for the next video, which should be the recruiting version of this, and this is going to be breaking down how recruiting will be entirely different, and you won't want to miss that one, because I'm going to break it all down in a way that gives you guys some great insight heading into next year to kind of think about. Because based on what we read yesterday and based on what I heard from the game changers and a few other guys who did play the game early, this is going to be something that stands true. And because of that, there's a new way to look at recruiting for a lot of different things, and you're going to want to have that ready, because once the game drops day 1 and you load up your dynasties, you're going to want to have that. But guys, that's about it for the video. Hope you did enjoy. If you're new to the channel, give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, guys, don't forget, PoodleCFB.com is running the best deal of the year. Every deal grandfathers you in for life, and this is the best one we have yet. So it's recurring for the remainder of your subscription. So lock yourself in now to give yourself a few weeks to acclimate yourself with the spreadsheets. the calculators, the people in the chat, all the strategies. That way, when you kick off day one, not only will you be ready, but you'll have the best discount available and be locked in for CFB 26. We're a few weeks away, guys. Get hype. Come join code launch. Capital L get you $50 off the annual plan. Code launch 2025 get you $5 off the monthly plan. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.